Hello, welcome back to the channel. So it's been a little while since you've seen the Volvo. The last update you would have got was more so in a kind of a vlog video that we released a couple of weeks ago, where I just freed up the brakes. So the brakes are done, they're free in the car. What we're moving on today is starting the bodywork. We're getting ready for paint. So overall, the Volvo is actually in pretty good nick body-wise. There's not that many dents in it, really. We have one just here that I'm just about to begin working on. So that's only a small one too, so it doesn't need much filler, that one. Then the only other big one is kind of here, and a little bit of a dent there. But as you can see, it's not that bad. So today what we're going to do is we're going to start the filler work, get these dents smoothed out. We'll take a look and see if we can find any more. And after that, we're getting the car prepped for paint. So that is today's plan. So if you are new to the channel, please do give us a subscription. Leave us a like. It is the best way to help support the page. And let's just jump straight into it. Right, so before we start the filler work, we want to dull this up so the filler will basically bond to the surface better. So just going to go with some 320 grit, scuff it up, and then we can start the filler. Now, so just before we go any further, just in case anybody's wondering what we're using here, we're using Master Service line body filler. This stuff is really good. I really like this stuff because I find the viscosity of it is quite high, so it's easy to flow. It's kind of like, it's almost leaning more of a glaze than a filler, if that makes sense. So personally, I just really like this stuff. I find it very easy to work with. It just flows very well. It fills in any gaps, and it doesn't leave any kind of pockets or anything like that in the filler. So it just means that if you do need to use glaze after it, it's a very small amount. So that is the body filler that we use. I really personally like this. Now, we actually got this from our friends over at Abcon. So shout out to Abcon. They do help us basically do, well, everything that we're working on here. Without them, we wouldn't be able to do this. So I have left a link in the description down below to check out the guys from Abcon. And if you are looking for body filler, I really recommend this stuff here. So, right, this should be dry now in a minute. We'll get sounding this down. Only problem with this car is it's absolutely massive. Like, look at that. Oh, it's the joys of it. Okay, so that's a lot of the heavy stuff off. We're going to leave that to dry. This will take a couple of wipes, a couple of attempts to get this clean because a lot of dust on it. Probably should have got the airline at it. It's all right though. Right, I think Okay, I think what we're going to do now that we have that kind of started is we're just going to get the block and just go at it with the block, I think. Okay, right, so we got some guide coat here. We used this before. Anybody who's been watching us for a while, you might have seen us using this on the Mazda when we went to paint the Mazda. So essentially what this will do is this will show any high or low spots. There's a low spot. Low spot there because we haven't hit it. It's darker than the rest around it, so that's what the guide coat does. I think that block is probably a bit too big. Yeah, you can feel the dip actually in it there. So that's going to take another skim of fillers for that side. You know what, might get the orbital sander, but we can see where there's a dent. So let's get the orbital sander and then we'll get more filler. Okay, right, let's go do more fillers. I'd like to get this done before I go.
Right, so just heated, you had a piece of steel here that was flexing in and out, bouncing in and out, so I just ground back to bare metal on the spot that was going in and out, and basically just zapped it in a couple of spots with the welder, pushed it out, zapped it in a couple of spots with the welder, and it's took this. All it's doing is it's dispersing the heat in the area that's washed. Now you have a bit of a dip in there, but it's not as bad as it was.
But we can grind that down.
Yeah, it's took the springiness out of it, so it has.
Yeah, but basically that panel was sitting in like that.
Yeah, and now it's with the heat, it's flattened out.
It's came straight out. So,
yeah.
It's an interesting thing. I never heard about something like that.
Now there is special tools you can get for it that it's like a heat probe and all. It doesn't see the way that you've left. Unfortunately, I've left spots that you're going to have to grind down. Yeah. The heat probe, it's just a point, and you just go around it like that, and it kind of scribes it.
Yeah.
And it'll obviously not leave down. We don't have one. Yeah. So make do with what you have, kind of job. Yeah. But that seems to have done the same job.
I'll get them grinded down, and that's a little bit less filler work.
A little bit less filler. And you see, even if you'd have filled that without sorting that issue, I'd say if you'd have filled that in, it could have popped out and cracked the fillers.
That was my concern.
Or if you filled it out, it would have fell in. Yeah.
Yeah, because it was naturally sitting in.
Yeah.
But it was quite freely coming out.
Coming out as well.
Like, I was afraid, like, even a bump in the road or something to pop it out.
Pop the filler, that bit of fillers out of it, exactly. Yeah. So, no, that's took the spring out of it. So it has.
Stuff, so we're one step closer to getting this yoke done.
Yeah, getting there.
So maybe we'll just mention about the welder as well. You had that down on a low setting, didn't you?
Down on 30 here. When I'm welding the glands and stuff from the quarter panel glands, I'd have that up to 60 to burn it good and strong, the weld, but you don't need a good strong burn in that. It's only about getting a bit of heat into it, like so.
Aye, for a panel that thin. Like.
Yeah. So I turned it way down basically. All I wanted to do, I didn't want to do much other than introduce a bit of heat to it. So down low and just consecutive. I done them 1, 2, 3, 4. I didn't stop, if you know what I mean. I didn't give it time to cool between each.
You kept the heat in.
I needed to get the heat into it, but I didn't want the welder to be up that high that it would burn through it. Okay. So I kept the welder low, and I welded it in 3 or 4 different places in one go. The first time I tried just one spot and let it cool, and it done nothing, so I distributed the heat into 4 different places. Just bang, one straight after the other, and that done the job. So.
Right, so we've that all kind of welded down now. So all we need to do is a bit of filler over, and that's saved us a lot of work, because that little dent had pushed the panel in and had caused a big kind of a dent all the way up there. But now that it's pulled out, this is all gone. It's just this one little dent there. So we'll get that filled in. Right, okay, so we're doing a little bit of filler work. Well, I'm actually using some glaze now at the minute, just to kind of fill some of the finer dips that you just can't really get with the likes of normal body filler. So I'm going to show you what I've done. It's not pretty, but I'm using glaze, right? So pros and cons to glaze is you can kind of see it's very, very smooth. It's like the viscosity of it is very high, so it's great because it gets into any little kind of pockets or anything like that. But because it's so runny, it creates an absolute mess. As you can see, I'm just destroyed with fucking glaze. So that is what we're doing at the minute. We've done a bit more work on some of these dents down here. We found another little dent up there. We got that one sorted. And then I found these dents over here. Well, I actually showed you these already, so you've seen these. So we're actually doing a little bit of filler work. I've already done one skim of filler. I've got it smoothed out. We're now waiting on the second coat to dry, and then we're going to do that. And then, touch wood, I think that's all the dents. Probably going to do a little bit of work on the windows. I'll show you these. Yeah, so I might continue and work this area here a little bit better. There's a couple of imperfections I want to fix here, up around here as well, and then on the far side as well. This isn't too bad actually. That's actually not too bad. I might just maybe tidy this up and just leave that, but yeah, we are finally getting somewhere with the Volvo. Okay, so the plan today, we are taking the doors off the Volvo and getting them ready for paint. We are on the way. So that's what we're doing. Doors off, everything here off, and we're going to try and do it a little bit more organized than we did before. So, right, let's get this done. Let's get this started. Okay, so what we're doing, everything's going in the plastic bag. Trying to stay organized. Easier said than done. I am an incredibly unorganized man. Just realized I actually forgot my head torch. The incredibly unorganized man remains undefeated in level of unorganized. Now, the job that we have is we basically need to take the doors off. We want to strip the doors, door cards, everything rubber has to come off. So to do this job, I'm going to be using one of these plastic pry sets, bone set, whatever you want to call them. These are basically used to remove trim from cars. This is a really good set that we have here. It's got every shape, anything thick and thin, everything you want. This is what we're going to use, and obviously we're going to go very slow because this plastic has been in this car since 1987. It's all quite brittle, so I'm going to do my best not to crack anything, but I'm not going to be massively upset if I do crack anything because it's very, very brittle. So we're just going to be taking our time with this. Right, so we have the first door off, and as you can see, there's just pretty significant rust the whole way around where this seal was. It's not too bad in the back of the door, to be fair to it, but the underside and then towards the front of the car, pretty bad. So we are going to try and tidy this up, treat this rust the best we can, do something with a bit of rust converter on or something like that and tidy it up. But yeah, these are the little things that you would miss if you didn't do this, you know. Right, okay, so we've got more rust underneath this door. It's quite bad actually, so we're going to hit it with some of the rust remedy first, and then we're going to put some fillers on top of it. Okay, so this rust remedy, basically just brush it on, and what that's going to do is going to help basically kill the rust and put a protective layer over it, which is going to just make that when I actually come to do the filler work, that it actually bonds to the door a lot better. It's also going to start to turn purple. So give that a couple of minutes, let that set, it'll turn purple, and then it's good to go. Oh, where has this gone? Okay, so that's the door card popped. I'll take out this plastic tray. There we go. Nice job, Glaze. Window regulator. Now, I've already taken the driver's side door off, so I would recommend you that as you're doing this, take lots of photos. I've already taken photos, I say that, and I probably still don't have enough, but yeah, don't just be taking it off without knowing where these bits are going. You get yourself into a handling, which is exactly what I am probably doing. Now that this door is stripped, there's actually a little bit of surface rust, so I'm going to take my little die, tidy it up, and then we're going to hit it with the rust preventer as well. Right, okay, so on the bottom of each one of these doors, there's this little bit of trim, and it's just kind of held on by plastic clip and basically rubber seal. So we've lifted it, but it leaves a lot of it behind. So we're just going to use the caramel wheel. We're going to take all this off. We've got to do it on all of the doors, but yeah. So for some of these heavier bits, we're just going to use one of the blades, because obviously the caramel wheel will take it off, but there's no point burning through it if we don't need to, you know. These safety blades here are peeling up the majority of it. You see that? It's nearly taking up all that there. Alrighty, let's give it another skite. So we are down to the last door. This is the driver's door, and I've just spotted this, which could be a problem. That is bubbles of rust. So that metal is getting quite thin. We are just going to basically, I'm going to hit it with the die. I'm going to hit it with the die and basically just treat it, rust treat it, and I'll put a little bit of filler over it. So we're not quite done with the filler work yet. I was kind of hoping we were, but this is the joys of old cars, I guess. Okay, so a little bit further on, we're doing the tear down the boot. It's nearly done, and this replacement boot we had actually had the water jet up here. So what we done was we basically got a bit of steel, put it down, kind of grind it down into the rough kind of shape that went into here, and then we just welded it. So what we're going to do now is just kind of smoothen this out a bit, and then put a bit of filler over it, because the boot on the original boot lid, which is this one here, the jet kind of sprays in from the side, whereas on that one it came from here. So we've plugged this one and we're keeping this one here. So right, okay, I think we're done with the boot. That's been filled in, looks pretty good. I am most impressed with up here. So this is where the hole was for the water jet, and as you can see, it's all filled in. I'm pretty happy with that. I've not much experience in this, so I'm quite happy with how that's turned out. Next step now at the Volvo is the actual run, like starting to rub it down, which I'll be honest has me a little bit nervous. I'm a little bit nervous about it, to be honest, because like the amount of work I've done, I don't know if it's enough or if it's good, and we're not going to find out until it's rubbed down, primed and painted. So fingers crossed I've done a good job.
Yeah, and that's it. That's what the car is at the minute. I'll be honest with you, actually, as of from yesterday, which is the 17th of September, the car's actually on primer. we missed a couple of weeks in terms of videoing due to personal reasons, but the car's in the oven, it's on primer, so that is where we are now. So thank you very much for watching, and be sure to stay tuned for the next one, where we will hopefully have the car actually painted. So we're getting there, lads. Thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.